Hey, this is Anthony, Jacob Lenhoff's Tours America channel, part 2 of the interview. Jacob has prepared some questions for me, and here we go. Alright. What was the scariest experience you had? I think I had reiterated this in one of the other interviews, but it was definitely when I went on a car trip to spend the weekend at a resort type cabin during a blizzard in the winter, and we encountered numerous accidents and crashes on the road, and we really didn't know where we were going. This was before GPS. This was just in the map age back in the old days, and we made it, and by the time we got there, it was absolutely the scariest experience for me, and I learned from that to never drive in bad weather like that again. It's not going to happen. Alright, number 2. Let's see. Jacob wants to know about when my children were born. Well, I remember when my first child was born, my wife's water had broke the night before. I knew nothing about this. I was like 23 years old. I had no idea what that even meant. She immediately called the doctor, and he said it would be okay if we just checked into the hospital at 6 a.m. the next day, which we did. So I remember that. I wasn't supposed to be in the operating, the birthing room with her, but I was in the waiting room. This was before, again, wasn't really prevalent that the husbands joined in. It was back in the old days again, back in the 80s, the early 80s. And she was having a tough time of it, and the doctor came out and got me. Told me to go in there and see what I can do as far as help. I'm like, what can I do? I didn't do anything. So I did go in there. I'm so glad I did, because it was the best experience of my life, seeing my first child born. And I'll never forget it. And I'm so thankful to him for actually coming to get me and let me come in there. Okay. Alright. Where have you lived, and what was your favorite place? Well, I grew up in Brooklyn, stayed there for 12 years, moved to various areas in Queens, 3 or 4 areas, actually 4 different areas, until my adulthood when I moved out to Queens, a different part of Queens, and till we were married. And then we moved out to Port Jefferson Station, Long Island, which is way out on the island. From Queens, it's a long way, and that was a big difference and a big culture shock for everyone. And then we finally settled in Smithtown, New York, which was my favorite place that I lived. I've lived here for over 25 years. So that's the answer to that question. If I had my choice, I would like to live in Hollywood, California, and live year-round with palm trees and beautiful weather, and that's where I want to live. But I am probably going to live here the rest of my life. All right. Who would you want for president? Well, I don't want to really answer political questions, but there is one hero that I have always that I would definitely love to see president, just because he's my hero, and that's Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to go into what I believe in or what he believes in or whatever. I just think Arnold would be a great leader for the country, and maybe kids will look up to him and want to be in shape. And that would be a great thing. Nothing wrong with that. Last question. Let's see. What does this say here? What sport were you good at, and how often did you play? Growing up, I was a pretty good baseball player. I played non-stop every day, sun up till sundown. We really didn't play video games in those days. We played the sport, and I was pretty good at it. I was a third baseman, second baseman, outfielder, and played right through high school. And then I took up bodybuilding, because you can do it by yourself, and I like the challenge of it. So basically, that would be the sport I would say I'm best at, bodybuilding, and I do it currently as of today. So anyway, that's the end of part 2, and thank you for joining us again in Jacob Lenhoff's Tours America channel. See you soon.